What's up guys, it's Average Joel making average content for the average viewer, and today I want to talk to you about something that I think is not really being spoken about enough, and that is another absolutely awful business practice that Activision has chosen to use and employ in the most recent Call of Duty games, and that is of course the games as a live service model. Now look, I know that a lot of you will be hearing that and you'll probably freak out because this is the best business model that we've seen in Call of Duty, but I want to put something to you. Before we had this style of content, what did we have before? We had an optional season pass that you could buy for say another £40, and then that would gain you access to the extra maps that they bring to the game. Now, I'm totally aware that this is also a flawed system. You pay £60 for a game, you want the whole game, and you don't want to split the player base into people who have spent more money and people who have not. And I completely understand that that's not the right thing to do, especially if you look at Black Ops Cold War, for example, where, let's be honest, a lot of people aren't going to choose to use the season pass. They're not going to buy that season pass, and especially when you consider that most of the COD population at the moment is absolutely still hooked on Warzone, then the chances are that they're not going to also pay for another £40 worth of content in a multiplayer that's essentially dead when they can get the full Warzone experience for free. But I want you to hear me out here, because on the face of things, games as a live service is actually quite a good idea. It sounds like it might actually work, because ultimately you're paying for the game and then you're getting extra content on top of that for free as the months go by, and it's coming to you fairly regularly. Like already we've seen quite a few additions to the game since launch, but I put it to you that this game is not new content and this game is not extra content. The content that we are getting drip fed is content that should have come with the full game in the first place. Seriously, before we had this, before Modern Warfare and before Black Ops Cold War, when we had the season pass model, we were getting games that started with a minimum of 12 multiplayer maps. This game started with 8 and we've had 3 or 4 added in the subsequent weeks. On top of that, before, even with zombies, we had more maps than just the one, and in Black Ops 2 for example you had the main transit map, but you also had it split up into all of the different separate maps that you could play more classic zombies on, whereas this year they just have the one map. Some people buy Call of Duty exclusively to play zombies, and at the moment they only have one map, and they've only had that one map to play for the last 3 months. Now look, I get it that this model seems like it works flawlessly and it seems like we're getting a really good deal, but when you look at say Battlefield 5 for example and how that game launched, it was completely bare bones and it didn't even have games like Rush in it. Game modes like Rush, which were a staple of the Battlefield franchise, and the same is happening with Call of Duty. By the end of Modern Warfare we had loads of game modes and loads of maps and it was really good, but guess what? Modern Warfare was an anomaly. Usually when a game is that late on in its life cycle, nobody is playing that Call of Duty. That's just the way it is. The way that Call of Duty is set up is that it hooks you for the first 3 to 4, maybe 5 months while you're getting all of your challenges done and you're doing the camos, and after that it gets stale and it gets old. The only reason that Modern Warfare still had a player base towards the later end of its lifespan was purely because of Warzone and the way that they had made it that it was easier for you to grind your guns up in multiplayer to use them over in Warzone. But now that we have Black Ops Cold War and we're not seeing that same sort of transition between the two, it's getting pretty obvious that this game is already dying. And what does that mean? Well, that means that any of this new content that they're going to bring us and drip feed us over the next few months is going to fall on deaf ears because people will have already moved on. The thing is, when a new map pack used to come out for a Call of Duty, say around March time, it brought a large portion of the player base back, myself included, because I'd always be like, oh cool, there's some new fresh content for us to play, let's go and explore it and see what's new. Whereas this style of content delivery, where they're literally drip feeding it to us so slowly, where like we are getting one map and some crap melee weapon for example in an update, well this isn't going to hold anyone's interest. It's not going to hold my interest for one, because at the end of the day, when I'm playing the standard 6v6 multiplayer and the maps that are in the rotation, I am absolutely sick to the back teeth of the majority of them, and then yeah, when Raid pops up I go, oh cool, but guess what? Raid isn't a new map, and the next new map that we've got coming is also not a new map, and the maps that are new are completely trash. They have no flow and they don't feel like Call of Duty. I don't know who made them, maybe they are Sledgehammer maps, but the thing of the matter is, if they had just stuck to the same old formula that had treated them well for years and had 3 strict lane maps and really balanced equal map design, then no one would be moaning about the maps. But the thing is, the maps that they are giving us are either rehashed remakes or they are complete and utter dog shit. Look, I love Nuketown as much as the rest of you, but let's be honest, how many more times can we play Nuketown? How many more years can we play on the same tiny little map and think that it's good content? How many times are we going to have to replay Raid or Slums, or guess what? Probably in another few months, Fire and Range is going to come and everyone's going to go, yeah, oh my god, the developer's amazing, because they're giving us the same rehashed piece of shit that we've been playing for near on a decade. We are like little birds in the nest, and Daddy Activision is flying over and puking all the old shit that he's already eaten up right into our mouth, and it's absolutely disgusting, to be fair. We all paid £60+ for a game, a brand new game, and when you get that game, you expect it to be full to the brim of content, where the reality of it is, within the first 5 weeks, most of us were bored and most people left the game. The game now takes so long to find a match. Why is that? Is it because the skill-based matchmaking is too strong? I know that a lot of people would love to think that, and yes, skill-based matchmaking is a serious issue, but the fact of the matter is, I shouldn't be waiting near on 4 minutes to find a game as someone with a 1.5 KD. I'm not in the top 1% of players, I'm just an average Joe trying to chill out and play a few games of Call of Duty after a hard day at work, but instead, I spend more time in the fucking lobby looking for a game than I do playing, and this is because the game is dying. And it's not just because of skill-based matchmaking, and it's not just because there's a load of bugs, it is because the game is dry. It is absolutely empty. I mean, for fuck's sake. I completely appreciate that you're trying to add this new Dirty Bomb game mode in, when in reality, when we look back at it, it almost seems like they were making Blackout 2 another BR, and then Activision told them to scrap that idea because Warzone was doing so well, and I completely understand that, but all we've been left with is this sort of half-assed mode in a game that no one really cares about, and then we're supposed to get excited when they add a new map in for it. I think what I'm trying to say here is that the main reason that most of us are hardcore Call of Duty fans is not because of BR, it's not for gimmicks, and it's not for them trying out new ideas and trying to change things up a bit, or maybe trying to hop on other trends. The main reason that a lot of us are hardcore Call of Duty fans is because we love that classic 6v6 feeling, and at the moment all that we have is a few maps that aren't that great, and then a drip feed of more maps to come, and then the rest of the experience is being punched in the gut by skill-based matchmaking. As a community, we got Call of Duty to the place that it is today. We all banded together this whole time and kept playing this game because we loved it for what it was, not because we wanted it to change. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but if it never changed, then people would just get bored of it, and maybe that is true, but if you keep focusing on making that core 6v6 great, people will come back and play it. You don't have to break records every year. I know that sounds mad because it's all about money for these guys, but realistically, they're going to shit on their name. Think about Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero was an awesome franchise, and guess who was involved? Activision, and they made it so that it was all about the money, and that game died. The whole franchise is dead, and the same will happen to Call of Duty if they don't stop it with these anti-consumer business practices. Games as a live service is a fantastic idea, and it is so pro-consumer. I really think that it can work well, but only if the first thing that we get, the main product that we are paying for, is full and complete and can stand and hold its own without any extras. That way, whenever something new comes, it's an addition, not filling it back out. These updates shouldn't be making the game whole, they should be making the game bigger and more impressive, but instead, all we are doing is paying for a game that is going to be handed to us bit by bit, piece by piece. It's the equivalent of buying a trouser suit and then finding out that the zipper and the buttons don't come until another month, which is after you wanted to wear it anyway, so what's the fucking point? And what's worse with all of this is it always leaves the developers the option to just opt out. Look at Battlefield 5, there should have been so much more content to that, but the game died, and so the publishers told the devs not to bother making any more content for it, and there are no longer going to be any more updates for it, and the same happened with Battlefront 2. The same will happen for Black Ops Cold War when they realise it is no longer financially viable people to give us free content. They've already had the money out of our pockets, so why the hell would they continue to invest in making content for the 6v6 multiplayer when they have already let it die and Warzone is going to carry on the Call of Duty legacy? But anyway, that's all I wanted to say in this video, and I really want your guys' opinion on what you think about games as a live service. For those of you who have watched these videos for a while, you'll know that I love to see who sticks around until the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. Would you rather stick with this exact same games as a live service model, or would you rather go back to having a complete game and paying for the extra content? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.